Watching these videos back, I look so much shorter compared to you, but I'm really not that much shorter. Well, not.
Yes,
wait,
you are.
Wait. Wait, I am.
But you hit puberty this week.
I grew 2 inches. So I'm sitting on a butt pillow that I got whenever I had my hysterectomy. So it gives me like a good inch height.
Good itch.
Inch of height on you, so I don't feel like I'm this small.
Welcome to the Dishes Can Wait podcast. Join us at our table for thoughtful, funny conversations that flow so easily you'll forget to check the time. We hope you feel like a welcomed guest in our home, part of a circle of friends who linger after dinner for the stories, the laughter, and the kind of connection that makes the hours slip away unnoticed. Because the dishes can wait, but good conversation can't.
One of the weird random things that I do is, you know, when you're watching a movie and you're like, I know that person from something, or maybe you're like, I wonder how old that person
Every
is
ADHD
in
person
real life.
understands this.
Yes. I'm like, I wonder how tall they are. And oftentimes I Google how tall people are. Because it helps. It's kind of the same thing as like, I want to know where I'm at in the world, in which direction I'm going. So if I don't know, like the other day we were driving somewhere and I couldn't even focus because I was like, I don't know where I'm at on the planet. I need to look at a map.
It was a problem.
It's the same thing with people's height. I want to know if I were looking at them,
So you know where you are in the world.
where they would be, so I know where I'm at in the world. And some people surprise me.
What's an example of one that surprised you? Carol Burnett.
She and I are about the same height.
Okay.
Just 5'5". The internet said 5'4", 5'5". I was curious how tall Stephanie J. Block was, and the internet says she's 5'9". I was like, oh, that's 4 or 5 inches taller than me. Give or take.
Give or take.
Give or take. Heels or flats.
Mm-hmm.
Amy Poehler.
Not one time have I looked up an actor's height.
Amy Poehler is 5'2". It's good information for people to know. In case you're like me. Okay. Cool.
Now, I look up where do I know people every single thing I watch.
Yeah.
Do you know it's even, because I think that's an ADHD thing. I can't, I'm like, how do I know that person? And you know, I had one recently that I did that with. I was watching The Hobbit and I was like, I know this guy from somewhere, right? So I look it up. I find the show that he's from. And as I'm looking it up, I'm going, I've done this before. I've looked this exact same thing up before. How do I know this guy? It was Outlander. He's an Outlander.
Okay.
But I've looked it up.
Yeah, when you see
Multiple
someone,
times.
you're
It
like,
bugs me.
I know who this person is. I can't place them though.
And maybe that's a height one because in The Hobbit, he's a dwarf.
Is that the politically correct term? Is that the correct term to use?
He's called a dwarf in Hobbits.
In the
because,
Hobbit.
Yeah,
Okay.
in Hobbit, he's a dwarf. In real life, he's not.
Oh, okay.
So, like, he is
Okay.
a dwarf. There are dwarfs in Hobbit land.
Understood. I've not seen or watched
That's
or read
okay.
The Hobbit.
That's okay.
Okay.
There's also a dwarf in Lord of the Rings, which you have seen. Gimli is a dwarf, the red-haired dude. So there's the politically correct term because that's what they're called
I'm just
in
checking.
the book.
I'm just making sure. I want to make sure that we're
But
being
in real
kind to
life,
people.
this person is not that. And so maybe that's part of the reason is because his height is throwing me off. They
Yeah.
show him as 3'5" versus however tall he is in real life. But it was funny as I was looking it up, I'm going, I've looked this guy up before.
I really want you to ask me the question that you were like joking about.
Oh, when I said that I had a real light icebreaker and I
Yeah.
asked you, how often do you think about death? But then I was like immediately like, the better question is probably how often do you not think about death?
I mean, look at the sticker on my water bottle. It's from the Barbie movie. Do you guys ever think about dying? And I don't know. I'm not a morbid person. Am I? No. Morbid, no.
You have some morbidity to you. I wouldn't call you a morbid person per se, but compared to your average person, yes, I think you're a little more morbid than they are.
I feel like the word morbid is subjective here.
Morbidity.
I'm like, I'm just talking about life by talking
And
about
death.
Oh, there's
So
my
how often
daughter.
do you think about death? How many times have you thought about it today? Just ballpark it.
2 or 3?
2 or 3.
And they're not anxiety related. That's a completely different section of thinking
Right.
when I'm thinking about
Like your own
death. Yeah.
death. Like, oh, did I leave
Yeah,
the
or
gas
people
on?
I love, or yeah, that wasn't in that category today. It will be now, because
Now we're up to 4 or
now
5.
we're up to it grew exponentially.
I think I've only thought about death in this conversation.
See, I'm wondering what it says about me. And I'm not thinking of it in like it's a part of life.
I mean, this isn't even our first conversation on the podcast about death.
No, it's not. We talked about mushrooms. That was
That was a different one too.
Oh,
we had
there's
a
been
whole
more?
episode about where we
We
talked about like the biggest
did.
deaths that we've experienced. I wonder. I think it's a couple things of to answer your morbidity. One, you've experienced a lot of death, like physical death, emotional death, death of relationships, death of people, death of identities, and rebirths. Right. So you're about to laugh, and I'm being very serious.
I know you are. I'm sorry. I'm just
Like-
so many feelings. I'm like, first of all, you're so
You almost
beautifully
died, right? Like
Yeah.
you've experienced a lot of death in your life. So I think that's part of it. Like, because you've experienced so much of it, it's almost like a preparation. Like, I will have another death. I also think another piece of it is that, we talk about we hold both things together. They both exist. And so you're constantly aware of the good and the bad of things.
Yeah. Okay, there's this picture that I saw on Instagram, and it was of 2 animals, and one was saying, "Does that make sense?" And the other one was saying, "Yeah, absolutely." And the one that was like, "Does that make sense?" had a jumble of lines above his head, and the duck that said, "Yeah, that makes sense," had straightened out that whole jumble
Yep.
to help them help his friend understand it. That's what you just did for me.
I hope you understand why you have kind of
Yeah.
the lean morbidity. That you
Yeah.
lean on the morbid
Because
side.
I would have thought about the why
I think
for a
there's
long
another
time.
reason. I think there's another
Okay.
reason. I think another piece is your Enneagram 4.
Yeah.
Kind of like you hold everything, and so you feel things deeply, which means joys and sadness. Like all of them you experience really deeply. That would incorporate death and life.
Yeah. And you don't do that like on a regular basis?
I would say
Or
by
do I help
default,
you do that?
No. By default, no. Have you helped me? Help is an interesting word there. But you have changed the way I now think about death a little bit more often, about how we're constantly experiencing death of a relationship, a termination in a therapy session, right? A death of a season. You're no longer the same age. You have to mourn and grieve. And so mourning and grieving has coincided now with death. I just wouldn't have called it death. I might have called it loss. So no, naturally, I'm not like, I wonder how long this actor is going to stay alive. Not typically, no.
I've been wondering those sort of questions since I was 3. Oh, I'm going to be so sad when that actor dies. Yeah. It reminds me, this reminds me of a Stephen Sondheim song.
Of course, it reminds you of a musical.
I might have to Google it. It's Every Day a Little Death. In the parlor, in the bed. I got to look up the lyrics because they're beautiful. And I can't remember exactly what musical it's from, but I know it from Putting It Together, which is a Sondheim review, and I'm not going to info dump about all of that right now.
That's another question I can ask you is, while you're looking that one up, is how often in life are you thinking about, oh, this reminds me of this musical or this play in my life?
Every day.
Every day.
Because those are stories, and we as humans live stories with plots and arcs, and so they're synonymous to each other. And the humanness of it, like the human part of it, I don't experience it or witness it in a what's the word, bystander way, or in a consumer type of way, because I don't feel like that's honoring. Like, I don't see your life as just like the plot of your life as if it were something I was consuming on a movie screen or on a stage. But that is, like, just think of a movie or even a song that
Titanic, My Heart Will Go On.
Like, you have the potential to experience your own humanity and the humanity of others by watching a story, whether it be a musical or a movie. And so, and maybe it's just the way my brain works, but I could be like, oh, this is like this moment in this musical, or it's like this part of this song, because songs can also be, even though they could be like a minute long, 4 minutes long, are still an arc. Anyway.
You found the quote and the lyric.
You opened up open the floodgates of my brain.
Info dump.
Every day a little death, in the parlor, in the bed, in the curtains, in the silver, in the buttons, in the bread. Every day a little sting, in the heart and in the head. Every move and every breath, and you hardly feel a thing, brings a perfect little death. He smiles sweetly, strokes my hair, says he misses me. I would murder him right there, but first I die. He talks softly of his wars and his horses and his whores. I think love's a dirty business. And then Ruthie Henschel sings, so do I. Anyway.
Did you find the musical it's from?
It is from A Little Night Music. That's what I was going to say. I should have said it so it was confirmed, but that's what I was going to say. Anyway, it just reminded me of that song.
Thank you for sharing that.
We were talking about death. Cool. We're off to a bright and shiny start. So both of us are nursing injuries right now.
Oh, we're addressing the elephant in the room. My bandage.
Oh, is it visible?
Probably.
Oh, yeah.
Like if my hand comes up, it's probably visible that all of a sudden Aaron's hand is ghostly.
Yeah, mine is not visible.
Yours is not visible.
So, question for you and for our listeners. Have you ever been enjoying something and you're just like, this is so lovely? And in the middle of enjoying it, you're like, well, shit, that's going to hurt tomorrow.
Oh, I thought you were going with the present nostalgia.
Oh!
I thought that's where you were going with that.
Oh, that too. Okay, let's come back to that. Let's come back to present nostalgia.
Okay, I thought that's where you were going with that.
I'm going to write it down so we don't forget.
I thought that's where you were
right
going with
here. I'm going to type it. I'm going to be pretentious and type it in my iPad. Okay.
So you're going, man, I'm really enjoying this.
Man, I really love the song Proud Mary. I'm going to start dancing and I'm going to give it my whole heart and soul. And 2 days later, you can't move your neck. What were you enjoying this week, babe?
I mean, besides, I want to answer the question first. Okay. So your question is, have I ever really been enjoying something and being like, this is incredible, but I'm going to pay for it tomorrow? So there's a couple of answers that come to mind. The first thing that really comes to mind is hiking. We as a family have been on several national park hiking trips, and especially early on in the hiking trip, my body's not hurting, but I'm well aware that by the time I wake up the next morning, and I will be sore the rest of the trip after that. That's an example for sure. I also think I felt that way when we went to Disney World, not necessarily the rides themselves, but the walking. So a lot of these are physical things that we're talking about. When you're really enjoying something, I'm going to regret it tomorrow. Physically is what we're talking about. Disney World would be one as well, like crushing it, walking 45,000 steps, but going, my feet are going to have blisters tomorrow. So my injury, we have a walking treadmill. Walking treadmills are not as sturdy as a typical treadmill. And I was on a walk, just on a walk for my stupid mental health, going to move my body. Went on a walk and on the treadmill, and it went nice. It went really nice. I was jamming out. I was singing to some Journey. You've talked about that, how walking and singing is also good. So I was jamming out, busting out some Journey. So I had my phone sitting on the walking treadmill. I also had a 10-pound weighted vest. I had these weights in my hands as well. So I'm walking with a weighted vest and extra weight in my hands and singing to Journey. Towards the end of the walk, I decided not to carry the weights anymore, so I set them on top of the treadmill. So you got the weights on the treadmill and my phone. I wanted to really push myself one last minute before I was completely done. And so I was going to turn it up, So we went from, I think the speed was about 3.5 to 6, which is the fastest that walking machine goes. And it forces you to jog, which I was fine with that, like a nice jog. This treadmill got wings, and it started to levitate, and it felt like this treadmill was going through an earthquake. Things went south fairly quickly. I thought that my weights and my phone were going to crash to the ground, and so I tried to save them, because in a very split second, I'm like, if my phone breaks or if these weights fall, I don't want these things heavy falling on the treadmill. Ironic for what's about to happen. The moment it started going like that, I knew I was up a creek. And so as I'm bracing these and running, that's very much what it looks like. I slip. And those moments when you're like, I'm going down. But it happens it felt like it was so slow. And there was nothing I could do about it. It was like, I'm about to fall on a moving treadmill. And that's exactly what happened. So my hand braced my fall right on this 6-mile-an-hour treadmill. And as you can imagine, a fast conveyor belt scraping across my hand, scraping my knee up, and then rolling. I didn't kick backwards. I rolled sideways. And I think some nice, beautiful words came out of my mouth. And so that is how I wounded myself.
I'm sorry that happened.
And I think it grossed you out more than it did me.
Your hand's pretty brutal.
It's pretty gnarly.
Gnarly, yeah, that's a good word.
Anyway, that's how I wounded myself.
Man, I
trying to be healthy,
Yeah,
never again am I going to try to be healthy.
I was trying to be healthy for my soul. You know?
Were.
And I also had a funny idea for a video.
Yep, the video worked.
Thank you. I posted it on Instagram. It was a video of me dancing with my full heart and soul, and it said what my microwave sees while it's heating up my food. And it's just me all out dancing to Proud Mary. That is a song. There is something in me when that song comes on. I'm done.
But now you're wounded, Mary.
Everything, right. Everything else disappears, and I am Proud Mary.
Keep on rolling.
Yes.
Rolling.
And I felt it immediately when it was done, and I was like, "Oh, I can't move my neck."
Like you knew you were going to feel that tomorrow while you were dancing?
Not while I was dancing. The endorphins were too high.
Okay.
But as soon as it turned off and I had my come down, I was like, "Oh no." I'm going to leave this heating pad right here on my chair for tomorrow. Anyway, getting older.
Humility.
Yeah.
I have been on a treadmill many times in my life. I don't know, hundreds of times have I been on a treadmill, right? Not thousands, but hundreds of times I've been on a treadmill, right? And many of those hundreds of times I've had like a little stumble, like where you step on the side or your foot gets stuck or something like that. Never have I come close to falling. And I think it wasn't until as I'm slowly falling that I realized I think I've judged people for falling on a treadmill. Mm-hmm. I didn't realize that I had judged people until I was falling. Mm-hmm. And I'm going, oh, you're one of those people now. You're that guy. You're that guy.
You're that guy.
And I'm not going to lie. I kind of wish there was a video of it because I'm sure it would have been freaking hilarious to watch.
Yeah.
Me going, and then rolling over to the side.
I don't like
a
videos
log.
like that. It physically pains me.
As the machine's still going.
That would be the funniest. Is like the
Right, it's still going.
Going as you're just laying there.
Blood still on the conveyor belt.
I've almost fallen on the treadmill.
That one's easy to fall.
It is because it was a cheap treadmill. I got it for the summer when it's too hot to go for a walk or run outside. But I have almost fallen on it, and I do have it on video. And I almost fell because I was listening to Defying Gravity, and I closed my eyes for a split second as if I were Elphaba. And you can't close your eyes on that treadmill.
You cannot. You cannot.
I have thought, we're going to laugh at me.
That's not allowed.
Because I have thought, I'm morbid. I am a morbid person. The moment, like the last moment
Of your death?
of life, if someone's like, this is it. And they're like, and they just like, it happens and they just like give in.
What?
I've thought that because I've had okay.
Like, this is it,
Like
Jesus.
some close-ish calls, like the time.
I know what you're talking about.
But then I'm gonna come back to the getting hurt part. But the time that we were in Montana at Glacier, and it was early in the morning, and
the horses?
and it was the deer. We were on the
gosh, that was scary.
and it was so early in the morning. It was dark, and there was a deer in the road, and we were going
Probably 60 miles an hour.
60 miles an hour, and it happened like that. And for a split second, I was like, "This is it."
Yeah.
But then it wasn't, and then I think, like, is that what it feels like?
That was scary.
Sometimes.
I get that.
Okay.
Life flash before your eyes kind of thing is what you're talking about.
So same sort of thing when you're getting hurt, but not dead. Where you're like,
There's a before and after.
like, okay, this is happening, and I just need to give in.
Yes, that's what was happening
Yes.
is that moment. It reminded me of, like, we went hiking not that long ago. I don't know, this is last summer or the fall, and I kind of fell in the creek. But I fell twice on that one. I fell on the hiking, like on the trail for the first time ever on the trail. I fell, and you saw it from behind. It was the same kind of thing where I'm slowly falling with my backpack. It feels like it's going literally in slow motion.
Yes.
And I'm not using literally incorrectly.
Yes.
That is how it feels when it's happening to me. It feels like it's going.
Yeah.
Like I can picture every moment that's happening, and you're going, I'm about to eat it, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm about to hit the ground.
And also in my brain, witnessing it, because I was maybe like 10, 20 yards behind you, maybe. Yeah. And I'm seeing it happen, and I'm like, he's going down.
He's going down.
I can't help him. Because it was rocky, and we were going downhill. And I'm like, I can't run to you.
Damn it, Garter.
To help you. Godspeed. I hope you make it okay. And it was slow motion.
It was slow motion for you.
It was slow motion for me,
and
it's like, or maybe not slow motion, but if
like
you
a freeze,
see,
like there's nothing I can do in this moment.
Yes, like when you see a ball is headed towards someone, and you know they're gonna get hit, and you're like, I want to warn them, but why aren't the words coming out of my mouth? And then you see it, and then you're like,
too late.
Ball.
Ball as they're on the ground.
As they're on the ground. It's like my brain can't process. It can't make it to my mouth. Getting old is wild.
But don't you feel like we're like our parents and our grandparents now? Oh, we're getting old, getting old to be, like.
Yes. There have been times I've been talking to our children, and they're like, okay, Mom. And I'm like, I am that generation now.
I know. And like,
It's trippy. But also, I'm trying to lean into it.
Our body is slowly dying.
Everybody's body is
I'm just
slowly
bringing death
dying.
back. I'm just bringing death
okay.
back. You didn't even realize
I'm
it.
like, okay.
You're like, absolutely.
Everybody's, but
it
we
is.
are born dying. Okay, let's go there.
I'm closer to death than I've ever been.
That sounds like something my grandmother would have said. Also, talking about grandmothers, yet I carry a
You're
water
almost
bottle.
halfway to 80.
I need you to not say things like that. I carry a water bottle around with me everywhere I go, just like my granny did. I will run to the grocery store for one thing, and I'm like, got my wallet, got my keys, got my phone, got my water. My granny carried around a plastic water bottle and a Vera Bradley koozie, all like the last 2 decades of her life. She'd be like, go fill my water bottle up for me. I'd be like, okay. This is not Mama. This was Granny. So she didn't talk like this.
You said granny.
And I have become her. I've become her.
Speaking of grandparents,
Okay.
what is one of those phrases from your childhood that your grandparents would say that was definitely a grandparent phrase? Like, I'll give you one that my grandfather used to say. He for sure said, don't take any
no
wooden nickels. Don't take any wooden nickels. That's one for sure he would say.
Oh, no, my grandparents didn't say that.
Have you heard my grandfather say that?
Don't take no wooden nickels. No, I heard
He
that
doesn't
phrase
say no.
from...
He says don't take any. He doesn't say don't take no.
Oh, where did I hear that phrase from? It wasn't from him first. It was from a TV show. I want to say it was like Mark Lowry. A Mark Lowry comedy special. If you don't know who Mark Lowry is...
He's a Christian comedian.
That was my childhood. I had his whole comedy album memorized. Anyway,
His whole tape cassette.
Yes, it was a cassette tape. I feel like I hear him saying, "Don't take no wooden nickels." Okay, phrases that our grandparents said.
Yeah, grandparents said.
This is like Depression era generation.
Correct.
It was always something about you need to finish all your food because there's starving children in the world. We should not say the thing that he said.
Right.
Because
that
it
is
was
one.
also
That's a racist phrase.
Depression
But that
era
is one.
people.
There's starving people all over the world. Eat your food. Very shaming and guilty.
A lot. There was maybe not so much that generation, but a Southern thing. Like lots of, oh, bless your heart. Bless. If you ever get a bless your heart,
Oh, bless your heart.
it's not good.
It's not a good thing.
It's not good.
It's kind of condescending.
Condescending, but yet, yeah, no, I'll say it, but I don't say it to people's faces, and I say it in like a, oh, sweetheart, oh no, oh
It's like
buddy,
oh buddy. I'm gonna say oh buddy.
That's what I say.
Oh buddy.
Oh buddy.
Oh buddy.
Oh buddy. It's like I believe in you.
Bless your heart.
That was rough.
It's like a sign of. It's like a show of pity, a little bit, like
Yeah.
a little bit of sympathy.
Yeah. Or it could be like sincere. It can be sincere.
Bless her heart. Never heard
No.
it. I've never heard it. But no, sympathy and pity is not a bad thing. It's got a bad rap. It's not a bad thing.
It's not always a bad thing. I feel like 80% of the time it's backhanded. 20% of the time it's like it's sincere. Like
You're talking about the phrase?
"Bless your heart."
Or sympathy.
The phrase "bless your heart."
Okay. Yeah, I agree with that. Any other phrases? Like, do you have any?
You know what? I'm gonna think of them in the shower tonight, randomly.
I'll bring the microphone in.
Okay, cool, great. Aaron.
I'll bring them along. Okay, we have a follow-up. Look at me holding it up. Look at me holding the camera like I'm an old person. I'm holding the person up. That's what I'm talking about. I'm so old.
It's not this.
This is me. Like, what am I doing?
That's the social media clip for
I
this
have
one.
never owned one of those in my life. Come in here with the camera. Like, why is it up here?
I mean, like TV reporters, they have the big.
They do.
They have the
And
big
I
official ones.
I've never had that career. I've never held one of
But
those
you were
in
talking
my
about
life.
that. You were talking about
Come on, guys.
the 1980s, like the kind my dad used on Christmas morning. That's the kind that you're talking about.
That is the one that went
Had
in
a
my head.
boom mic on
It's
the
kind of
front.
like what we talked about, like those things like when you ask somebody to like pretend they're talking on the cell phone. And
We
you
do
and I
this.
still do this, and our kids go
do
like this.
Yeah.
And I still don't. I still.
This feels.
That feels weird. It feels like I'm about to go to sleep. Right? Like, hush, little. Okay, yeah. Hello.
This is more of a Southern thing. It was always like, I tell you what.
I mean, your dad definitely
My
said
dad.
that.
I tell you what. In that
I
accent.
tell you what.
And I've
See, I
caught
don't-
myself doing that.
See, that's one thing that's fairly interesting. Like, we grew up in the same area, roughly. Mm-hmm. You would consider your grandparents very Southern. I would not consider my grandparents Southern at all. Mm-hmm. Right? So you're saying all these Southern phrases. I'm like, yeah, those are definitely Southern phrases. Those were not my grandparents.
But did your grandparents say them?
No.
Oh.
None of those Southern phrases that you just said my
okay.
grandparents ever said.
I thought you were saying that they would say them, but it wasn't Southern. Like didn't feel Southern.
No, the reason I'm saying that is because you're having a hard time thinking of one specifically with your grandparents. And so you're going with Southern phrases because your grandparents are Southern.
Yeah.
And so I wouldn't think Southern phrases because my grandparents are not Southern.
What are they?
I don't know, but they're not like your typical like thing that you're talking about. Bless your heart. Like that was not my grandparents.
Yeah.
Either side of them. You know? I mean, that's the first one that came to my mind is don't take any wooden nickels.
Yeah. And what does that mean? I think I know what it means, but we can look it up. Let's take a guess, and then we'll look it up.
I felt like he was always saying like, be very careful, don't get taken advantage of. Like it had nothing to do with money.
I thought that it meant like, don't be going around kissing. Don't take no wooden nickels. Like, don't be kissing them boys.
Like that was a nickel?
I have no idea. Okay, we're gonna look it up.
Wow, we're on very different pages.
I know.
Here.
Like,
thought,
I
thought
feel
it was
like
about
I
like
heard
not
that.
getting taken advantage of.
I mean, that makes sense contextually.
Like, don't take a wooden nickel because that doesn't exist, right? You're gonna get taken advantage of. So like, be on your guard. You know.
That makes sense.
Right. Don't be kissing no boys. Why would my grandfather be telling me that?
Or like, don't be kissing anybody.
What does it mean?
You're right. Where the heck did I hear that from? Because I didn't come up with that. I heard that, and I've thought that my whole life.
Don't be taking no wooden nickels.
But what you're saying makes sense. I never used the phrase.
Me
Like,
neither.
I don't.
Right.
It's not a part of my.
What about a penny for your thoughts?
I mean, I've heard that.
Yeah, I think my.
Is that an insult? A penny for your thoughts? A
No.
penny's not very much.
But it was.
Oh,
But even then, I don't. But even then, I think
we have
it's,
to look at the inflation rate.
Yeah, but even then, I think it's saying I'll pay you for your thoughts.
Okay.
Right? Like I'd love to hear your thoughts, and I'll even pay you for it. I thought it was a compliment.
So I'm of course making this like a bigger thing in my head than it needs to be, but I know that I heard that, whether I asked an adult in my life as a child what that meant, and that's what they told me, and I just believed them, and then that was ingrained in my head, and I never thought to examine it until this very moment. But now that we're asking the question, I'm like, oh my God, what I've thought it was my whole life makes zero sense. But what you're saying makes sense, which is that is a very small molecule of an example of a larger systemic humanity issue of like, oh, these are the things that I've always thought and believed, and I've never even thought to examine them. But now I'm presented with new information.
It's a new conversation.
And let's engage our critical thinking to be like, oh yeah, that actually would make sense. And let's have the maturity and the softness to be willing to change our minds about things.
I mean, that ties into our conversation about deconstruction. I mean, that's part of that, right? Systemic racism, death, right? All of the things. You know, patriarchy, sexism.
Thinking like,
right.
I'm a little embarrassed to be like, oh my God, I can't believe that I thought that it was like, don't make out with anybody. And there's some shame in that. And I'm like, that's just a tiny bit of shame compared to, I mean, and we don't need to compare resumes, but let's just do it for a second. Compared to, you know, here's what I believed about people who don't look like me my entire life.
Right.
And then you start to realize how wrong you were. Like, there's a choice there to, like, you can feel shame. Mm-hmm. And what are you going to do with that shame?
True.
Are you going to shut it down and like push against it and be like, I can't even examine that, and stick to your guns and be like, well, no, I'm going to stay the way I am because it's much easier than dealing with this whole baggage right here? Or are you going to face it?
Maya Angelou.
Once you know better, you do better and start to work towards changing all of that deeply ingrained stuff in you.
Right. So I said Maya Angelou, right? But that full quote is like, do the best you can until you know better. But once you know better, do better, right? You must do better. Mm-hmm. So like, even on the example right now that we're talking through with kissing boys, you did the best you could with the information you had. Now you have new information.
Right.
So you probably shouldn't use it that way.
I mean, right.
But you could, but then you're going back to willfully choosing something that's incorrect. You're willfully being ignorant at that point. Mm-hmm. It's like, okay, it's okay that you have your default sets of whatever. We all have our default sets.
Exactly.
Some of my default sets are still the same. Mm-hmm. Some of my default sets have changed, and that will continue to change, right? Because we're continuing to try to learn more about ourselves, learn more about the world, learn more about other people,
the entire
love deeper.
Span of our lives is evolution. We're meant to grow and expand and examine and change and evolve. Mm-hmm. There should not be a point where you're like, oh, I'm 70 years old. I've been doing it this way my entire life. I don't need to change anymore. No, until your very last breath. Like, we're meant to be doing that work.
I always say that, I mean, it's kind of morbid, but like, I want my life phrase. I used to say I want this on my epitaph. I always say that word wrong. I want to say epitaph every time. I'm just going to say it for now because it feels right. And I'm choosing it. I'm choosing ignorance. Choosing ignorance because it's endearing to me.
Bless your heart.
On my tombstone. But really what I mean is like my life phrase is that I want to forever deepen my definition of love. And that includes loving myself deeper, right? And so this same conversation you're talking about, like a lot of times even in couples, you'll hear couples say like, my partner's not the same person they were when they're married. Like, I can say that you are not the same person that I met. You're not the same person that I fell in love with. You are drastically different. Now, the choice is do I continue to grow and learn and choose and love? And of course, it's a resounding yes. But neither one of us are anywhere close to the people we were. Nor do I hope that stays the same now. Like, tomorrow, you're going to be a different person than you are today.
Yeah.
All of life is learning and teaching us and evolving, mm-hmm. like you're talking about.
And we do it together.
Right. So evolve, baby, evolve. So evolution is real, is what we just discovered. Just through that.
Just through that
one little tiny thing.
Example.
Don't take any wooden nickels.
We did not come back to present nostalgia.
Present nostalgia.
Present nostalgia. I have found, okay, what is present nostalgia? I cannot remember where I heard this phrase from, so I don't like that I can't cite my source. I don't know if there's an original source, but here you go. Present nostalgia is when you are experiencing something in the moment and you are so deeply moved by it that you are also living in the future, missing it while you are experiencing it. And that happened to me recently. And it was over and I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel like I didn't even experience it. It's this wild, trippy thing where I was like, in the moment, I was like, enjoy the moment, because you're going to miss this when it's over. And it was, I got to go to New York and I got to see Rachel Tucker.
I thought you were using the sandwich example. You did that on our date last week when we were having sandwiches.
It can be as big as
you're
seeing
like
Rachel Tucker in concert.
Halfway through the sandwich, you're like, I'm so sad it's almost gone. I'm like, it's still half there. You're like, but it's about to be gone.
It can happen.
So, okay. So,
no,
sorry.
wait. It can happen with a sandwich.
It can do this with our podcast episode.
And it can happen when you're seeing Rachel Tucker in concert.
All right. People might be sad that our episode is almost over.
I know.
You know?
They're like, oh, I can never listen to this episode for the first time
Right.
again.
They can see it and it's only got like X
But
amount
I
of
was
minutes
sitting
left.
there watching these 3 incredible singers, Rachel Tucker, Louise Dearman, and Carrie Ellis singing. And they're like right there. It was at a cabaret and they were like right there. And their voices are just amazing. And I was like, I'm going to miss this so much when it's over. That by the time it was over, I was like, oh, I missed it. So all that to say, live in the moment.
Present nostalgia is hardest for me 2 times. The 2 hardest. One is on vacation. And I think a lot of people probably experience that when on vacation. You're like, man, this is amazing, but I'm sad we only have 2 days left, or that kind of thing. I also think I experience it on a regular basis, like when we think about the weekend, right? You're like, oh, it's Sunday, but like it's like, even though Sunday is an off day for me, right? I don't work on Sundays. I don't work at all on Sundays. Sundays, we have things that we do around the house, like cook and that kind of thing. But like Saturday feels like my vacation, my day off, and then Sunday I'm like, got to get ready for Monday. Even though there's nothing I really have to do to get ready for Monday.
Like you don't even get to enjoy the day because it's like even if it's just mentally prepping for
I'm already thinking that my weekend is over. Like Friday night and Saturday feels amazing, and then Sunday's like, and my weekend's over.
Man,
and it's not.
No.
But it feels like it is. I don't want to plan things on Sunday. Very rarely do you and I plan things on Sunday because I'm already like, my weekend's over. It's shot.
Yeah.
Present nostalgia.
I'm curious when our listeners, have you ever experienced present nostalgia? And when was it? And like what moment do you wish you can go back and relive because you were in it already missing it?
I got one for one of our children. This is a few years ago. One of our children was having a moment and they got very sad. I'm like, well, what's going on? Why? Like it was about something, but it really wasn't about that something.
Yeah.
And so as we're really talking through it, that kid is like, I'm just sad that I'm not going to be a kid anymore. Like at the time they were like 7, 8. Mm-hmm. And we're like, oh, goodness.
Yeah.
Right? Like, but that's what was happening. My kid was grieving that they weren't going to be a kid forever. Even though they were still a kid.
Even though they have a long way to go until they're an adult.
Like that same kid has talked to me about like this little mini car, this little electric car that they used to drive around. And they're like, I'm just so sad I can't drive that anymore. Mm-hmm. That one's more nostalgia, not present nostalgia, but like 7, 8 years old going, I'm sad I'm not going to be a kid forever. I'm like, man, you still got a while to go. But also I was so tender in that moment.
Right.
To them,
yeah. Would you like to
SOS?
Sack of
You got to say it like Winnie the Pooh.
Okay. Amy Poehler and
5'2".
someone else. Yes, she's 5'2". She was. Oh, I can't remember which episode, but she said that her castmates on SNL, they would play Do It or Die, and it was impressions. It was with Jennifer Lawrence. That's who it was. And
J-Law is what we call her.
They would name a person, and you had to do an impression in 10
out.
seconds or less, or you're dead.
Okay.
So do it again.
Winnie the Pooh.
Would you like to pull a question from the sack of something, Piglet? Okay.
Oh, Pooh.
Okay, now you have to do one. Okay.
I died.
No.
I died.
No, you have to do
I
one.
died. No, it cannot be any Christmas movies. Go.
Well, now that's all I'm thinking about.
Nope, it's got to be a different one.
Oh crap. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Robert De Niro.
I'm dead.
Do it.
I don't have it.
Do it.
I don't have it.
Do it.
I don't have it. I'm dead.
Do it.
I'm dead. I died. Have I done a Robert De Niro before?
That's the one that Jennifer Lawrence did.
I feel like I've done that one before.
Because you said Christmas movies, my whole brain was gone.
I feel like
I went to Robert De Niro.
I've done it before.
That's what Amy Poehler asked J-Law to do.
I feel like I've done it before, but it's like I have to hear the person's voice and then I can do it.
You can't hear his voice in your head?
I have to think of his voice for a second.
Okay, I'll give you a moment. I won't even look at you.
No, I gotta really think about. I have to like. You're not in the circle. You're not in the present circle. Like I can't hear it in my head right now. I can't hear it.
Okay, he's just like his lips down. He closes his eyes. That's you don't even have to say anything. There, that was good enough.
That's funny.
Okay, sack of something.
Am I reading it or are you?
Go ahead.
Me or thee, sweet pea?
You can.
What is something others would never guess about you just by looking at you? Go for it. Are you answering it about me or are you answering about yourself?
How about we do it about each other and ourselves?
Okay. It's easier for me to do about other people because I'm a 9.
I know you are. Okay. I think for me, that people would not think that, like, I'm a badass with a power tool. And that's not a euphemism.
Wow.
Just kidding. That I know how to build stuff. Like I am not intimidated by power tools. I know how to use them. I know how to build things. I'm very handy. But I don't think that comes across just by people perceiving me.
I think I would also say that like people might not guess that you like to act based off of your introvertedness and the fact that you sometimes just hide like a turtle. And so they may not know that you actually like performing.
That, growing up, yeah, and then especially in college when I started like actually learning the craft.
Mm-hmm.
The craft.
I heard it.
People thought I was really outgoing. They'd be like, oh,
That's
she likes
hilarious.
to be on stage. She's really super outgoing. Let's just throw Hannah like in the middle of a crowd and have her perform for us. But not like actually perform, just like
That's when you had your
entertain
first
with my
panic attack.
personality. And I'm like, no, thank you. I'm going to be in the bathroom hiding. That's not my jam. I'm like, you have the wrong impression of me.
You're talking like that's almost the flip side, right? Like I'm talking about people around you now looking at you.
They wouldn't think that
would not think that you like to act,
that I could.
that you like to perform, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Because why is it considered outgoing? Because you're allowing yourself to be seen and be seen in a light that's not necessarily you. I mean, it's you, but you're playing something or you're putting on a persona, and that's not.
I think it has to do because it's a
considered
social
introverted.
aspect. It's a social thing. Like you're not acting and for an audience of one, just yourself, right?
You can't say audience.
I totally
I've
did.
got too much trauma.
I totally did though, right? You're often in front of an audience, in front of a crowd, in front of other people.
It's
That's
considered
why I
social.
think it's considered
Yeah.
an outgoing thing because turtles don't often put on a show. But this turtle does.
This turtle does. That's funny. Okay, your turn.
Okay.
Yeah, and you're gonna say yours first.
What is something others would never guess about you?
You, Aaron.
Oh, me.
You're answering for yourself.
Okay. Just by looking at me. I mean, what a great butt I have. I'm just kidding. Just by looking at me, to know that I used to have hair.
Come
They
on.
might not know that just by looking at me.
You were born like this?
Baby, I was born this way.
Come on, make it about like something internal. Come on, stop making jokes. You got this.
Just by looking at me. See, I'm struggling because I'm trying to think about like, are we talking about just by the appearance of myself or things that I've said, like things that I've said on the podcast, things I've said to people? Boy, if we're talking about just a physical appearance, right? That's what we're talking about?
Yeah, just by like
Like
what?
strangers.
Yeah. Would it help to think about how people might perceive you based on how you look, and then things that you know about yourself that contradict that?
I mean, maybe. I guess what others, but I'm also trying not to toot my own horn, right?
Oh, come on. Toot away. Just say it.
I'm just thinking. I'm struggling with my answer. I've had about 4 things pop through my head.
Then say the 4 things.
Just by looking at me, I'm a man. They're correct there. I do identify as being a man. But there's a lot of male things that I don't resonate with. There's a lot of male stereotypes that I don't resonate with. They might not know that I actually like to do certain sporting activities because my body size might not suggest that. That's real. They might not know that I like to cook. They might not know that I can be in touch with my feelings. I feel like that's enough.
That was very wonderful and introspective of you. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for digging down deep into your soul and bearing it with me and everybody else. Appreciate it. I know that was very difficult for you.
Well, I think the first thing I wanted to talk about, and this is why I didn't go there, honestly, because I don't want it to sound self-serving, because like we just talked about earlier, there's a lot of work I have to do, a lot of work that I will continue to do. But I think I've told you that like every time I feel like I'm sitting in front of someone, everyone, I know that what I look like as a white, cis, hetero male represents pain for almost everybody. And so I hold that dearly, but I also recognize that that's not necessarily me, but I also know that does resonate. And so I try to hold space for that and try to hold space for the privilege that I have and try to use that. And I think you have to recognize that in order to do that. But by saying that, oh, people might not know that I've done the work, that feels like a douchey thing to say. I know what you mean. You know? Yeah. And so you're having tears.
I am, because you're just such a wonderful human.
I mean, we're talking about how I represent pain.
But what you're saying is so fucking empathetic. It is so, like, you have such a tenderness in your heart, and you don't just carry it around. You like give it freely and openly, and you are so spacious and gracious where you can say and sympathize and understand that you're like, I know what someone like me can represent, and if you want to have any sort of relationship with me, I'm here for the time that it takes for you to feel safe.
Absolutely.
And to trust me. And
yeah,
that is why, like, I'm sitting here verklempt, because you're such a gorgeous human.
Well, safety and trust are not, they're not a right.
Right.
You know, like, no, they're not.
I know. Correct.
Right? Like, correct. Especially when somebody looks like me, I have to show you that you can trust me. I have to show you that I can hold space for that. And like, people shouldn't look at me by default and go, I'm going to trust this white bald man. Right? Like, they shouldn't do that. Like, there's been pain, there's been trauma, there's been all sorts of things that would lead to everything in me says not to trust this person. And so if I ignore that, then I'm ignoring people in front of me. And that's not just in session. That's you. Like, I represent people who've hurt you. We've talked about that in the past, right? Like how, like, you were right to have your guard up by me, right? You didn't know me. I was no different to you at that point, right? And so the fact that sometimes I think we have to acknowledge what we represent to people in order to show that maybe we're not that, in order to see the whole systemic
right
person,
and the
goal, holistic idea
and the
of the
goal
person.
Isn't to prove something else. The goal is just because then that's a self motive.
No, I'm just trying to be a safe person.
Right. The
trying
goal
to love
is,
the person in front of me, and I can't do that if I don't see the person in front of me.
Exactly.
So,
well, I was Well, I still have to answer for you.
No, you don't have to do that.
Well,
We
I
can
was
just move right along.
No, but
Thanks for being
No,
here.
stop it. That was so
Am I on
beautiful.
camera?
Stop
Okay.
it. That was so beautiful and heartfelt. And I mean,
You had something silly you were going to say, didn't
well, it's not silly, but I do know that I've witnessed people be shocked by your sassiness.
Our listeners have not.
Because you are very tender and you are so empathetic and you are, but you are also like, here's some sassiness, whether that's joking or whether that's a boundary and like, no, we're not going to do that. Or like a clap back, but in like a loving way. Like I don't know if I've ever seen you clap back at anybody that was just straight up jerky ever. And I've seen you clap back at people and you have the nicest way of doing it. And people are shocked by that. I've witnessed it. And it's kind of fun because I'm like, oh yeah, he's sassy. And when you get sassy, it's kind of sexy.
Like when I've talked to like the customer service people, like are those the ones you're thinking of where I'm like, man, I get it. Like, but if you were in my situation,
you're just trying to get a paycheck. I understand.
But
this.
help me understand this, right? Like
There was one time with a company that I remember thinking like, ooh,
that was different.
oh, he's really angry. One time, and I've known you 20 years.
20 years.
20 years. So
One time. I'm going to take my business elsewhere. Thank you so much for your time.
you still thank them though. You're like, well, thanks for your time. Thanks for wasting mine. It's fine. I never know how to end these.
We fist bump it.
We fist bump. Okay, this was with our powers
I
combined.
feel like we should regularly.
I think we need to diversify our exit strategy and not namaste. That feels a little bit like appropriation.
I love namaste though. Like it
It is
feels
very
so
sweet if we were doing yoga, but I feel like we're doing it as an awkward goodbye.
I'm not because like that.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
not because like what namaste means is right. Like I see the good, I see the God in you, I see the divinity in you, and like I want to say that to our listeners, but I also recognize that like you're talking about the appropriation, so I'm not trying to step on any shoes. I recognize that I represent a right. So
thank you for sharing, Aaron. Oh, as always, thank you for sharing your time. And
it's one of my favorite things to do is to sit with you and chat with
ditto,
you.
sitting with you.
Yeah,
is
laughing,
one of my favorite
chatting
things.
with
I want to
you.
hold your hand right now. I love you, and I love our listeners. Thanks for joining us for this episode, and we'll see you for the next one. Bye.
Thank you so much for being here and listening. If you enjoyed this conversation, follow the show and subscribe on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify so you never miss an episode. You can also join the conversation and subscribe to our Substack or follow us on social media. You can find all those links and everything we're up to at thedishescanwait.com. We'll see you next time on the Dishes Can Wait podcast.